Hi, welcome to AmalgamNation Presents World of Fictioncraft. I had planned to do a different story, but it had some scenes of a sexual nature in it, so I decided to do this one instead because I'm quite interested in this story and I was on the ropes about whether or not I'd do it, considering there are 75 chapters and one chapter every 2 weeks. That's going to take me a long time to do. But since I found it difficult to find other stories that I liked that fit into this category, I'm going to go ahead and do this. One chapter every 2 weeks. So starting today, we have the Northrend Chronicles, Chapter 1, The Transformation, by Lore Master Lorne.
I was so powerless to halt the oncoming darkness. It moved at a painfully slow pace, almost as if it was made of lead. Rattling my cage bars did nothing. Screaming for help did nothing. Frantically searching for anyone that could help me did lead me to see that the fight had turned into an ambush. Mort and Edmund were surrounded and outnumbered by bodies. Some were still, others were extremely animate and dangerous. The darkness was only a few feet away now, still hell-bent on its path to my soul. The warlock was laughing throughout his incantation. I was crying. I was defeated. Cersei, a voice cried. Snapping my head up, I saw Evan jumping over a corpse, running as fast as he could in my direction. He won't make it. He can't. The darkness will have one of us, and I'm going to make sure it's me. He was so fast. Damn his long legs. I made my decision. Doing the most courageous and stupidest thing in my young life, I cried for him to stop. It surprised him enough to make him hesitate in his running. A brief falter on his behalf changed the course of my entire life. I never blamed him for it. That split second was all I needed. The darkness folded through the cage bars. I could see nothing around it except the chaos of its center, the evil that it beheld. And it touched my heart. First there was the pain. It wasn't the physical pain initially, but it manifested into that. My bones stiffened, my nerves were shot through, my blood ceased to flow. Air refused to enter my lungs no matter how much I gasped. My muscles refused to respond. I collapsed and lay there, unable to writhe in my own torment, unable to scream, unable to weep, unable to die. Blackness clouded my vision. Non-existent knives clawed at my skin, rot infested my senses, and the last thing I heard were voices calling for me, I think. I could feel each individual organ die, each desperately trying to continue working, to cling on to some last semblance of life that had been snuffed out, and then my heart took its last beat. My brain died, but not my mind, not my consciousness. They were very much intact, but only for a short time. I was aware yet unaware of everything around me, a dream state of anguish, a nightmare of being out of my own control. I was numb but locked off feeling away. Emotion was suppressed, yet not absent. Every grief and misery, all of the regret and remorse I felt magnified, each distinguishable to the point all of it shotgun consumed me. I could not remember happy. Time was non-existent. The torture inside of me wasn't limited to my body. It was my very soul. I was being torn in all directions. The darkness threatened to encroach on me, to spill over. I went insane, on that I had no doubt, or drew so close to the edge that sanity and insanity were indistinguishable. Maybe I crossed over many times, I don't know. No mortal could, should withstand it. Death was welcomed whenever I sought it, yet it always evaded me. This frustration fueled me further. I didn't cry, I couldn't. I had to fight, I had to push it away. I will not let it take me. And then it stopped. The agony, the crushing, the torture lifted. Just like that. I blinked. My vision swam as it reconnected with my consciousness. I felt. No, I sensed that I was dizzy. My faculties came to. I could barely believe this. Sour tasted on my tongue. Foul filled my nostrils. Light coursed throughout my being. Noise echoed in my head. My revelation was cut short as the images I was seeing began to make sense. There was a body on the ground in front of me. A man. Blood dripped from my sword. It was in my hand. I looked to my other. It held its companion, also stained with red. I dropped them, stumbling backwards, my feet heavy. Plate? Boots at my gaze. What was going on? Was I even me? I twisted my neck to view the rest of my body, if it was indeed mine. I was armour-clad in dark iron. No, this is not me. I have to get out of this. I clawed at this armour in a vague attempt to tear it from my body. Failing at this, this body's seemingly trim hands found leather straps and shakingly undid them. I threw each piece to the ground in disgust until nothing was left apart from my padding. My nightmare had not ended, it had seemed. I panicked, not knowing what else to do. I ran and ran. The body felt so foreign to me, so new. Stumbling like a child, I travelled across, well, I don't know where. I ignored my environment, not knowing where I was going. I didn't register calls or cries. I tore through rotted plant life, unaware of the blood dripping off of my body. Tripping over a dead branch left me face to face with a ghost. No, not a ghost. It was mirroring my movement, a reflection, where I unconsciously expected dark long hair, limp lifeless grey hung in its wake. Healthy cheeks and a small mouth were now gaunt, sick and deathly lips trembling. Brown eyes wide and observant were no more. Bright blue and frightened bore back into my own. I was no longer a girl, freshly turned 18 springs. I was a nightmare. This is not me. I eventually found peace from this unreality, and darkness found me. Laying in a pile of leaves, dead leaves, my eyesight newly gained started to blur. The physical act of living, if that was what I was indeed doing, felt laboured. I began to feel death at my door. Finally answering my call, I closed my eyes. Some organised noise, voices muffled their way into my subconscious. I welcomed oblivion once more.
Thank you for listening to this reading. I tried out something new because I realised that the character that this story revolves around is a female character. I hope that it turns out okay and that you like this. As always, remember, play to game and game to play.